Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Uwadiae, a medical physicist at the University College Hospital, Ibadan. Thank you for inviting me for this year's NAPS Week to be a speaker at your symposium. Before I go on, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the head of department, Professor B.S. Badmos, and other professors and lecturers present, Professor Adebayo, Professor Okeyode, Dr. Adebambo, Dr. Ganiyu, Dr. Alabi, Dr. Olurin, and all other lecturers present. Permit me if I do not have your names. Thank you once again for inviting me. I also want to thank every student present here from 100 level to 400 level and probably postgraduate students who might be attending this symposium too. I would also like to thank the ESCOs, the NAPS ESCOs, ably represented by Yusuf Makonjola. Thank you once again for inviting me. I have been asked to speak on the topic, after graduation, what next? Wow, this is a question I know many of us have been asking ourselves. At least I asked myself that same question when I was a physics student as an undergraduate many years ago. And it's a question that keeps coming up at the beginning of starting school, and especially for final year students, they always ask these questions. What do I do when I graduate? What happens to me? What do I do with my physics degree? Where am I going to work? How do I get a job? Should I pursue a master's? Should I find something else to do? It's a very legitimate question, and it's a good thing we are taking this opportunity to talk about this. You're probably expecting me to come up here and give you a definite answer, but no, I'm not going to do that. This is a very short presentation that I'm hoping will stir up your minds. As physicists, we have been trained to think analytically. So I'm hoping at the end of this, my short presentation, you will think widely, and be able to answer the question yourself. And I would also like to say that this question should not only be asked by final year students. That's a mistake that we make most of the time. We wait till we're in the 400 level or 500 level. Some people even wait till the end of NYC. No, even as a first year student, start to ask yourself this question. It prepares you early for what is to come so that you don't start to apply a fire brigade approach when you're getting to your final year and wondering what are you going to do with your life. And it's okay if you have also asked the question in your final year, or you've been asking that question since your first year and you still haven't gotten an answer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's very perfect. Not everybody figures out what they want to do, whenever they ask that question. So some people, it comes to them very quickly. Some people, it takes a while. But whatever stage you're in, you're perfectly okay. Okay, let me move to my next slide. Sorry, I hope I am doing this properly. Okay. Wow, all of a sudden I cannot find, okay, yeah, I can find it. So we were here last year for your NAPS week 2019, 2020, everybody was on lockdown. So 2019, I remember we were here last year, and the NAPS week coincided with our International Day of Medical Physicists. So my team and I from University College Hospital came to celebrate with you all. And these are some of the pictures we took in 2019. I don't know if you can see yourselves. Those who were in 400 level then are probably, they've graduated now. And those who are in 400 level now are those who were on IT when we came. So I'm sure many of you can see yourselves in this picture. I saw this screenshot on the internet and I found it quite interesting. I think it depicts what our thoughts are currently at the moment. Dream job, how do I find my dream job? Should I what career should I pursue? Should I go and learn a skill? My CV, how do I prepare my CV, So many sides. I just thought to put this picture. I found it quite interesting. So I would like to start by stating the problem or the challenge. And I found out from my experience dealing with students, or even myself being a student, I found out that the major problem we have as physicists or as physics students is not knowing what exactly to do with our physics degree. And this is partly due to the lack of awareness of the various career paths for physics graduates in Nigeria. There is this myth or notion we are told that when you study physics in the university, you end up being a physics teacher in secondary school. And if you are so blessed, you end up being a physics lecturer. But that is absolutely not true. And it's still a major challenge because I say so because it's still difficult, trying to change that mindset, that we have absorbed, that has been passed on to us from our parents, from the society, and even from our lecturers. I remember as an undergraduate, when I decided I was going to pursue medical physics, I knew this even as early as my first year, second semester. Yes, if I remember correctly. I was going to do medical physics. And I remember always telling my lecturer, and they're like, medical physics. No, not in this country. You can't do medical physics. What is medical physics? Is there physics, So how much more when you now say, oh, you want to work in the oil and gas sector? I mean, people keep wondering, physicists, what are you going to do in oil and gas? Physicists, what are you going to do in MTN or Airtel? You can't work there. What do you even do as a physicist? What does so these are things that come up regularly. And like I said, it's a lack of awareness because when you move outside the country, you find out that physicists are everywhere, doing all sorts of things in every field of industry you can think about. But that is not the case, as I have personally found that in the country. So there's a lack of awareness of the various career paths for physics graduates. And like I said, you do not have to end up as a teacher. No, that is absolutely, if you want to teach, that's fine. But don't think or don't believe when anybody tells you that, oh, when you study physics, you're going to end up as a teacher. Physics is a very beautiful course. It's a fundamental life science. In fact, if I had my opportunity, I would go back again and study physics. So what exactly is physics, or why do we study physics? I found this interesting quote from the Institute of Physics in UK. It says that a physics degree lets you explore the world at all scales, from the tiny Planck scale to the scale of the entire universe. It provides you with tools and techniques to make predictions and solve complex problems. And it introduces you to sometimes beautiful, sometimes downright ugly truths that govern the world around us. In essence, studying physics gives you a deep understanding of how the world works. I was trying to look for a quote that was made by Elon Musk. I don't know if you know Elon Musk, the owner of SpaceX. That's like the private version of NASA, the um, space agency in the US. And he has a physics degree. I can't remember exactly how he quoted it, but I'll try and paraphrase. But he was on Twitter. He made a tweet saying that everybody should study physics. Physics is the degree that gives you the opportunity to do anything you want to do. And I want to stand with him. As a physicist myself, I would say that physics has given me the opportunity to open up my mind to many possibilities. Physics, those courses you are studying, you might not know what exactly it is doing to you, but it is training your mind to be analytical, to solve complex problems. There are so many problems in the world today. And trust me, physics already has given you a very good foundation, to be able to solve complex problems. It is the study of the universe. There is no part of the universe, or there's nothing in this life, in the world today, that cannot be explained with physics. Even down to the existence of the human life can be explained with physics. There are equations, there are principles, theories, experiments. So it's a very beautiful course, like I said. It's a very, very beautiful course, and you are privileged to be studying physics or to have studied physics. There was a survey that I took some days ago. I actually created a Google form and gave it to your NAF president to send to all students because I wanted to have an idea of, what was in our minds. So these were 4 of the 5 questions I asked in that survey. I wanted to know how many people applied to actually study physics because I meet a lot of students, especially those that come here to do their IT with us in my office here. And the first question I asked them is, did you apply to study physics? Many of them say, no, we did not apply to study physics. They probably applied to study microbiology or engineering or something, and they found themselves in physics. So I wanted to also know if that was the same case at FUNAAB. So interestingly, we found out that 65.6% of you said you did not apply to study physics. Wow. That's so sad. I hope that has changed now, even if you did not apply to study physics, but I hope that You have learned a lot now to be happy that you were given physics. I also asked if how many of you enjoyed studying physics, and yes, I was happy to see that a large percentage of you said that you are enjoying studying physics now, even though that was not what you applied for. Then I also asked if how many of you knew what you wanted to do with your physics degree when you graduated, and I was also happy to see that a large percentage who said they knew, 46.8% of you said you knew what you wanted to do. That's very, very encouraging. And 36.2 said they are still trying to figure it out. Like I said earlier, those of you in this category, you are perfectly normal. Hopefully at the end of this lecture, you might have some ideas, or before you graduate or before you finish your NYC, or somehow, you'll figure it out. And finally, I also asked if you had the chance to change your course, would you change your course? An equal number of you said yes, and some said no, some said maybe, some people are still confused. Anyway, it's fine. At least I wanted to have an idea of what the people, who my audience were. So thank you for completing the survey. So the next question is, what then can we do with our physics degree? And like I said earlier, and I'm saying it again, anything you think of doing, you can do with your physics degree. Think about any field in this world that you want to work in. Physics can be applied in that field. Any field at all, physics can be applied in that. And even if you don't want to even take the career path, you probably just want to do something totally different. Maybe at the moment, like this picture now, you want to get married, fine, go ahead and get married. You want to start a business, go ahead and start your business. Trust me, even in that business that you're doing, at one point or the other, your physics knowledge will come into play. In fact, it will even make you stand out from others who did not study physics. You want to go on a holiday, you want to search for a job, you want to go abroad and further your studies, you want to, whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. You can do it. So I'm going to just show us examples of different fields that physics can be applied. I'm not going to talk in depth about them because I'm not working in these areas, so I'm not a specialist or anything, but I just want to let you have an idea of what you can do with your physics degree. So we'll just start from the first picture on my left. You can see, or is it my left or your own left? I don't know which one, but where my pointer is right now. So this is the aeronautics industry. Physicists work here. I have friends who study physics who are currently working even in the country in this area. So I mean, so many electronics are built into the plane. Where this is where physics comes in. Building the machine itself, whatever you can think of, physics can be applied in this industry. Even the plane flying itself, it's based on physics principles. Down here, I have this is meteorology. There's those who predict the climate, whether it's going to rain or it's not going to rain, whether there's going to be an earthquake, whether there's going to be a tsunami, or what you can think of. These are all based on physics principles. Like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into them because I don't know the courses you all took, but as an undergraduate in school, I went to University of Technology, so I spent 5 years. So we did lots of all these courses. So we did a little bit of all these courses. So I don't know if you all were exposed to some of these courses, but whether or not you were exposed to it, physics can be applied in these areas. In telecommunications, you can work in MTN, you can work in Airtel, whatever it is you want to work on. Internet, they all operate on physics principles. This is another interesting picture I found. This talks about, I found it on the Institute of Physics, yes, where they have a group that a physics group, they call it physics of food manufacturing. I was like, wow, even in food self, physics has applications. That's very interesting. So let me move to my next slide. Yeah. Okay, so space physics, I'm sure we all know about that, space physics. To my right, this is finance. Trust me, there are physicists who work in finance in the stock exchange industry. People who predict stocks, even this cryptocurrency and whatever it is that people are doing now, Forex and the rest, trust me, physics has applications here. This is astronomy, yes, similar to space physics. I'm sure you must have taken courses in atmospheric physics. I don't know if you haven't, probably you might take them in your final year, or for those that want to go further in their master's level. Atmospheric physics is a very common, very common branch of physics. Then another interesting area, which I want us to, everyone, no matter the area you want to go into, whether atmospheric, space, or whatever it is, you need to pay attention to this area because this is the future of the world today. This is artificial intelligence, the field of robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Please and please and please, we are moving into a world, even though yes, in Nigeria, it might not be too obvious, but the time is coming when that will be very obvious. We are moving into a time when robots, machines are going to be assisting human beings a lot. I don't want to say replace totally, because I know a lot of people are afraid that robots are going to replace humans, but I mean, there's a limit to what they can do at the end of the day. But this is an interesting field now that is taking the world by storm, artificial intelligence, and physicists are at the top of this game. Physicists are the ones leading this revolution. So I'll show us a few more areas. So yes, app developments. For those who did programming, I think most of us did programming in 200 level. We were probably taught Fortran, C++, or C#. I don't know what you did in your school, but whatever it is. I mean, this is one very easy, just sitting in your house with your computer, you can develop an app, make lots and lots of money. Physicists are here again. Medical physics. This is the area I'm currently working in. Physics is, in fact, when you talk of radiation medicine today, you can't even start or talk about it without talking about physics. Physics is at the foundation of radiation medicine today. Anyone who wants to specialize in radiation medicine, whether you're a medical doctor, you're a pharmacist, or everything, they all have to study physics before they can become specialists. So you can see how important physics is, especially the treatment of cancer with radiation, using nuclear techniques and the rest. Physics is the driving force behind it today. Business, like I said, you can do any business you want to do, and you find at one point or the other your physics knowledge coming in. All those mathematical physics they are doing. I think the problem is because most times, I hope that's not the case in your school. Permission to all our lecturers, please. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. But like I said, I'm a physicist, so I'm trying to empathize with us. I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I think the problem most times is that most of us don't know that, most of us don't know the area we can apply, the courses that we are being taught. I think that's a major problem. For example, I'll give you a typical example. When I was in my NYC, I worked in an oil company, and they did an interview for us. During the interview, I remember, in fact, they wanted either physicists or electrical electronics engineers to work in the telecoms department of that oil industry. So about my first day, my supervisor called us outside and showed us a mast and was asking us, okay, can you describe the parts of this mast and tell us the physics principles behind it? And we were all staring at him very blankly. And I was like, I know say I sabi book now. I'm an intelligent person by God's grace. I took telecoms in 400 level and I had an A. So why will I not know this thing? Luckily for us, my second supervisor used to be a physics lecturer in Lautech. So he was the one that was now saying, Yobusa, remember this equation, coaxial cable, radar, amplitude modulation, frequency modulation. Can't you remember those equations? I was like, yes, I remember those equations, but like, this is it. I'm like, what? Really? And we were just solving equations, proving all manner of things, not knowing that this was. So if probably when I was studying that course, my lecturer did well anyway. Let me, just in case, I don't know if you see, my lecturer did very well. lecturer who taught me telecoms anyway. But I was just trying to give an example that if probably when they're taking that particular topic, and they're like, oh, these equations, this is what it is. This is how you can derive a waveguide. This is how you can design a waveguide using this equation. It would have made more sense, And then, of course, I wouldn't have embarrassed myself that the end. It wasn't an embarrassment because I actually learned something. And just him connecting that math, to the equations in my notebook, it just opened up my mind. In fact, that was like a turning point for me. I was like, you mean everything I'm studying in school, I can see it in real life? Because, we had this impression that physics is very abstract. We could just do I beg, just solve, read to pass. No, don't read to pass. So, hey, in fact, by the time you get to the field, you wish you had taken some of those courses serious because every single thing you are studying has application. You just probably don't know it. So I'm hoping that, that's why it's good. Like what we're doing now and like what we tried to do in 2019 when we came was we wanted to let you know that this radiation and health physics that you studied in school, nuclear physics, this equation of radioactivity, this is what we're doing. We're using it in the hospital to save lives, so to cure cancer patients. So don't just think you are solving one equation. So these things have application. And then finally on the bottom right is biophysics. So the study of biological systems, interactions, like I said, they're all still based on physics principles. So this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many other areas. You can go on the internet and search. Please use the internet for good. Don't use it to be checking Davido and Wizkid, who is better. No, use it to learn about these things because the truth is that even 4 years or 5 years is not even enough to cover physics. It's a continuous learning field. So go and learn more. Go on the internet and find out so many areas. And nowadays the fields are becoming interdisciplinary. So you can't just say I'm a physicist. Physics of what? There must be something attached to your physics. Are you a neurophysicist? Are you a biophysicist? Are you an atmospheric physicist? Different fields are coming together. So if there's a particular field you're interested in, trust me, your physics has an application in it. All right, so moving on to my next slide. So, okay, so medical physics, of course, because I'm a medical physicist, so I have to talk about my field. So if you want to learn more about medical physics, please check out this YouTube channel. Early this year, we organized a school for students to create awareness on medical physics. So the videos, the lectures are online on our YouTube channel. You can please go and check it and see every single thing, all your Fourier transform and everything, see how it is applied in medicine. And watch out for the next edition. So next year, by God's grace, we'll be having the second edition. So prepare to apply. No excuses this time around. So what am I supposed to do now? Like this minion is asking, what should we do now at this stage that we're in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, or PG student, whatever it is. So this list, I just came up with this list based on lessons that I have learned personally and from my interaction with physics students. It is not in any particular order. So number one, I said, take your studies seriously. Like I said, please don't read to pass. Understand what you are being taught. Physics is so interesting. In fact, I can't even understand how people can be studying physics and don't understand it. It is too interesting for you not to understand it. It is just so interesting. Ask questions. Ask questions. Your lecturer might not have the time to say everything, but I'm sure if you ask he or she more questions, they're able to tell you and explain these things. But most of us are not even interested. We just want to come out to the degree. Let us just pass. And then you come out and you say, there's no job, there's no this, there's no that. Because you just shortchanged yourself, you have shortchanged yourself. So even if you want to become a sailor, I mean, if you're a sailor, imagine you're a sailor, you're a captain on a ship, and you don't understand the principles of buoyancy or Archimedes principles. I mean, what are you doing? So take your studies seriously. You might not know which of them you would need later. You might not necessarily those of you in 100 level, 200 level, or even 300 level. Okay, those in 300 level are the ones currently on IT. Yes, even for you might not know the field you might end up in. So don't say, oh, I like this course, I don't like this course. No, like all your physics courses. They are too interesting. Please. Physics is everything. Like I remember the IT students with us, I won't mention their names. I was asking them some questions when they came. I said, do you know the physics principle in applied when making amala or semo or something? You see our mothers, old women, when they want to make amala or semo, they put water on the fire and then they sprinkle the powder of the amala or semo inside the water first before turning every. I said, do you know why they do that? Do you know that that is physics? It's physics. That's physics. But if you are just looking at it and say, oh, okay, no, see, you can use physics to explain anything in this life. Anyway, let me go to my list before I keep talking. So take your studies seriously, please and please and please. If you do not understand what you are being taught, attend a tutorial session. Ask your classmates who know it better to explain to you. Go online. There are so many YouTube videos. In fact, you can even be a physics graduate without even attending class. I'm not saying you should not attend class, but I'm saying that there's no excuse for you whatsoever. Go online. There are many, many videos. So if you probably, this particular lecturer, the way he teaches, you don't understand it, fine. There's somebody else that maybe might explain it to your own level, whatever it is, but there's no excuse, please. Then secondly, get a mentor. That's one of the things that helped me personally. I told you when I was telling my lecturer that I wanted to study medical physics in my second year, they're like, no, you can't do this. It was a mentor. My HOD now connected me with a medical physician. He was the one who guided me, even throughout my undergraduate, up to my master's and my PhD. And even till now, as I'm working, he's still my mentor. So you need a mentor, someone who has gone ahead of you, especially in the particular area you are interested in. Thank God for the internet today. It might not be somebody, it might not be in your school. There might be a field you're interested in now that probably FUNAAB does not cater to. That's fine. Find whoever the person is, even if the person is outside this country, write to them. Please, I would like you to mentor me. I'm interested in this field. I would like to know more and more. And of course, submit yourself to that mentorship, because it's not just to say, okay, you have to apply or obey, take instructions from that, whatever instructions the person he or she is giving you, you have to apply those things, because that is how you grow. So get a mentor, learn soft skills. There are so many things you can learn. 2020, I know most of you are not in school a whole year. What did you do with that 1 year? What did you learn? Learn soft skills, whatever it is. And I'm not going to mention them. There are so many free courses online now that you can learn anything. You want to learn photography. Do you know that if you are going into photography and a physicist, do you know that you take better pictures than somebody who did not study physics? Because you know the principles by which that camera works. All the parts, all the electronic parts, they're all physics principles. The lens, is that not physics? The light, photography is light. Is that not physics? So you will do it better than even somebody that did not study physics. Learn soft skills, because nowadays, everybody has a degree today. So imagine you're going for a job interview, especially if you're doing it outside the country. You know, in Nigeria here, we still work with our certificates. So somebody can have like 10 certificates and not even know how to do anything. Overseas, if you're looking for a job, they focus on your skills, not really on your certificates. So please go and learn skills. Live a healthy life. A lot of young people today are just living carelessly, you know. And if you notice, people are becoming sick. Most of sicknesses and diseases that we never used to hear that used to affect old people are now affecting young people. Please live a healthy life so that you can live long to fulfill the dreams you have in your heart. Set goals. Set goals. What do I want to achieve at the end of this 2021? What do I want to achieve at the end of July? What do I want to achieve at the end of? Set goals, because that will help you. It guides you so that you don't judge, you're not distracted by anything. If somebody says, come, let's do this, you say yes. Come, let's go here, you say yes. No, because you don't have any goal. You have to have a goal. Imagine a football match. If there's no goal post, where are we going to be kicking? That means anybody can kick the ball anywhere. But because there's a goal post, so all the players are playing towards that goal post, or those who are defending their team against the ball, gets it there. So you need to have a goal, set goals. Volunteer, apply for internships. So I know nowadays young people, everybody wants to make money. they say, come and do this work. They say, no, if you're not paying me. No, the easiest way to learn things is to learn for free. It might be painful now, but later in a few years, it's going to pay off. So especially those who are graduating now, if you are still not sure what you want to do, the easiest way, one easy way is to apply for internships. Currently, as I speak to you now, not from your school now, but we have a lady who has graduated from Lautech. She's waiting for NYC and decided to come and do an internship with us so that she can learn more about medical physics. She's confused about whether to do medical physics or not. So she came to come and learn. She's not being paid, but at least she's learning. At the end of the time she wants to spend with us, she can now decide, okay, if this is what I want to do or not. And like I encourage people, it doesn't have to be one particular place. Go to different places, different industry, different companies. Go to MTN, go and apply for internship there. Go to Leventis or the USC Foods, apply for internship there. Whatever. So expose yourself to different work experiences, and it also help your CV too. So by the time nowadays you want to apply for a job, they say you must not be older than 24 years old with 5 years experience, my dear. That 5 years experience you're talking about, volunteership and internships would help to make up for that 5 years experience. They did not say that you must be a permanent staff. As long as you have experience in something, whatever it is, your 1 week holiday, go and volunteer or be an intern somewhere. Whether it's 2 months holiday, whatever, do something. Don't compete with anyone but yourself, please. As all of you are, whether you're in the same class, the same clique, the same department, you see the sky is so wide for everybody to shine. So don't say because this person is doing this, you want to do that. No, everybody has their own race to run. No. Don't compete with anybody. Thank God that the university system is not first, second, third. Whether you have A, this person has A, 10 people have A, it does not disturb your A. So don't compete with anyone, please. Try to be a better version of the person you were the day before. And that's how to grow. That's how to grow. Some people might, maybe when they finish school now, they might just get a job immediately. You might take you some months, God forbid, or even a year. Does not mean that that person has gone ahead of you. Personally, I even had challenges in school. I changed university almost 3 times. So my mates had gone far, far ahead of me. But today, I am where I am by God's grace, and I don't envy anybody. Nobody, in fact, who are even saying that, oh, I wish, So please don't compete with anyone. Take a break. Take a break. If you need to take a break, please take a break. All this is I'm saying, I'm not saying that, oh, you have to do everything with clients. No, you need to take a break. If it's a day, switch off your phone. Don't talk to anybody. You just need to clear your head. Please take a break. If you're not sure of what you want to do, rather than just diving into something that will give you problems, take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. You don't have to do your master's immediately you finish your NYC. You can take a break 1 year, even 2 years, and decide to maybe work or do something else till you are sure of what you want to do. That's what I mean. Believe in yourself, please. It's very important. Believe in yourself. Okay, I already talked about learning a skill, learning a vocational skill. Apply for scholarships. Please keep applying. There are so many scholarships now. So many. So many. So there's no excuse for you saying that, oh, my parents cannot afford this or that. No, please, those are just excuses. And you know that for you to get scholarships, of course, the competition, of course, is also there. So please make sure you are doing well in your academics. It is not too late to improve on your academics. Further education, yes, that's something that you can do. Do a PG course, master's, whatever it is. Learn a programming language. I was talking about artificial intelligence and saying that artificial intelligence is currently the future now. Please, learn a programming language. At least one. You must know a programming language. In fact, now if you are trying to apply for a master's course abroad, if you don't even know a programming language, they will even write it as part of the requirements. Must be this or must know this. So please, it's very important that you learn a programming language. They are so easy. Now, there's programming language that you don't have to learn from scratch like we used to do in those days. No, there are so many integrated development environments now that have already worked out those background codes. So you're not writing code from scratch again. Nobody does that. Nobody has that kind of time. And there's so many communities online, MATLAB communities, Python communities. People have written code. There's so many libraries. So you don't even have to even do some things from beginning again. So please, I already spoke about taking free online courses. Learn how to cook. Yes, because I was talking about our health, paying attention to our health. People eat outside these days. So many things. People are having food poisoning. dysentery, kidney disease, one thing or the other. If you know how to cook your own food, you would you will eat out less, and then you save money too. So whether you're a male or a female, at least cook your own food and eat. It's entering your stomach. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Cook it anyhow you know how to cook it and eat. At least you are sure that it is safer, it is healthier, free of germs and all the rest. So build a strong network. Please, I don't subscribe to this or your lower kind of behavior or mindset. It's me. No, build a strong network between your classmates, even outside, so that you're in 400 level does not mean that all your friends have to be in 400 level. Have friends in 300 level, 200 level, 100 level. You can learn from anyone. Have friends, even make friends with your lecturers too. Of course, there are other ones, you treat them with respect, but make friends with them. Make friends with physicists in other schools too. At least you can be sharing knowledge, exchanging notes. This is what they taught us today. What did they teach you? How did even not only physicists, different courses, because you never know. You never know tomorrow who is going to help you, or where you can get that big breakthrough from, that big idea. You might just be talking with somebody. So please build and maintain a very strong network. Take risks. Young people these days, I don't know. I don't want to say we are not lazy. I don't want to say that we are lazy. Please, I'm not going to use that word. But we are just too comfortable in our comfort zone. Take risks. What is the worst that can happen? If you take that leap of faith, if you do this thing, if you go and study this course, or if you apply for this job or whatever, what is the worst that can happen to you? Nothing at the end of the day. Or if you call somebody, if you go and see that professor, the worst that will happen is get out of my office. And what is bad with somebody telling you to get out of the office? You get out of the office and come again, try again next time. Probably at that time it's not in the mood to see you. Take risk. Don't just be too comfortable. Don't just stay with what you know. Try to do other things. Do what you have never done before. Stay out of trouble. Oh. Stay out of trouble, please. You don't have to engage in every Twitter fight, every Instagram fight. You don't have to, or WhatsApp. You don't have to be, you don't, please, it's not your business. Mind your business. Like I've written here, mind your business. Stay out of trouble. And you have to be very careful. Things you are talking about Twitter and the rest now. You get very careful about the things you post online. You post on your WhatsApp status. Tomorrow now, maybe it's the employer. The person that's going to employ you now. The person would have seen your tweet or something. They say, so you're the one that tweeted this thing so and so time. So 10 years ago. Be very careful. Conclusion. I'm sure most of you were expecting me to talk about, to give you a definite answer of what exactly you are to do when you finish. No, I don't believe in teaching people what to think, but rather in how to think, because the mind is so great and we are not even using the mind, the brain, we're not even using up to 10% of it. So in conclusion, I'll just round up by saying, if you paid attention to all that I've been saying, these questions kind of summarizes everything. So I said, what do you love to do? What do you love to do? Take a sheet of paper and write out the answers to these things. What do I love to do? For example, I love helping people, I love helping people. So of course, it was very easy for me to think about, medical physics, for example, because, it involves saving lives and the rest. So what are you most passionate about? What do you dream of becoming? Like I said, there is nothing you cannot do with your physics degree. If you just go on the internet now, if, for example, okay, I can't think of an example now, but whatever it is that you dream of becoming, just go online and type it, in Google, and you find out that I'm very sure that physics will be connected to it. So, and for those of you who are saying that you did not apply to study physics, I have a close friend who wanted engineering, and then he was brought to physics. Of course, he ended up liking the physics course, but he still wanted to be called an engineer. So he applied to study a master's in engineering, which he has completed now. So for those of you who love medicine, for example, I did not have the opportunity of studying medicine. Medical physics is a very good way to combine both physics and medicine. And if you still want to even be a medical doctor, there is nothing stopping you from going back to school. In fact, in the US, you have to have a first degree before you can take some professional courses like medicine or law. So having a first degree in physics now already has put you on the right path now to becoming a medical doctor. I'm just giving an example. You want to become an astronaut, you definitely know that you need to specialize in space physics, astronomy, and the rest. So you need to go and find out how do I become an astronomer? How do I become an astronaut? What are the courses I need to take? Of course, that means you need to further your education. You need to do a master's course. So, and so on and so forth. You love food. If you love food, physics, there's physics of food manufacturing. I'm telling you, when I saw it, I was also shocked myself. So please, whatever it is you dream of becoming, you can become it with your physics degree. Then the last question is, what are the problems in the world you wish you could solve? Because this is something I'm personally passionate about. There are so many problems around, and I think most of us are just complaining and not even thinking about how we can solve these things. As a physicist, I said at the beginning that your mind has already been trained to be very analytical. Do you think it's easy to all those equations, to cram them and prove all those? Do you know what you are doing to your brain? So you've already been trained to solve complex problems, not just complex problems on paper in mathematical physics or solid state physics or electronic physics or mechanics, whatever branch of physics you did in school, nuclear physics, not just on paper. Sincerely, you don't know that it's like a simulation of the real life. You have already undergone that simulation, or you have been prepared already. Of course, some things you can never do. For example, now, if you want, for astronauts now, you know, they have to simulate. If you go to NASA, you can even check these videos on YouTube. You can't take somebody to NASA and say you want to go and train. You can't take somebody to the space rather and say you want to go and train him to be you have to create an environment that looks like space, a controlled environment where you train those. So that's kind of what we have done in school already, studying physics. You have already simulated real life problems. So now you are not going into that real life. You have been prepared already. You just need to translate, you know, from theory to practical, or theory to, you know. So your mind has been trained to solve real life problems. Look at the country, look at the world. Think about any problem, anyone that touches your heart. And I can assure you that you'll be able to come up with a solution. Physics, your physics degree has prepared you already for that. Even if you want to go into politics, whatever it is, I'm telling you, I can assure you, my dear, what will I call you now? You're not my colleague yet because you have not graduated, so I can't call you my colleague. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. You have been prepared for that. So let these answers, take a pen and paper, try to answer these questions yourself. Be true to yourself. You're not trying to impress anybody. And you don't have to answer it under 1 minute. It can take you 1 week, but try and answer these questions. And I can assure you that the answers you get will guide you to choose your path. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you, to share my thoughts with you. So at this point, I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. And I will take questions and answers if you have any, and I will answer to the best of my ability too. Thank you once again to the NAFS president on the NAFS School for inviting me. Thanks to the head of department, Professor Badmos, and every professor and lecturer represented. Thanks to all students for having me. Thank you.